first Facebook Live, the first proper one. I'm really excited. Just going to give it a couple of minutes just to make sure everyone can see. Hello. Hopefully everyone can see me. Fingers crossed, you just never know, do you? But this is our first Facebook Live, and it's kind of in response to everybody's questions that they've been asking me. So they've been asking me a bit more about how to be adventurous and then some specifics about different things. So the first ones that I got a lot of questions about was about wild swimming. So I thought I'd just come on here, give you a bit of a Facebook Live and let you know a little bit more about how to enjoy wild swimming. So, hi to everyone that's joining. I cannot see who you are and I cannot see the comments right now, but I'm sure I'll be able to in a minute. So I shall, oh, it's Eleanor. Hello Eleanor, nice to see you. Hey Alex, how are you? Thank you for joining me, lovelies, in my kitchen where all the mess is that side and all the tidiness is this side. So I'm going to begin by explaining a little bit about what wild swimming is. So wild swimming is anything that's in a natural body of water. It's not in a pool, it's not in a lido. So the first things that spring to mind are river, sea and lake. So that's what all wild swimming is. Why is wild swimming so brilliant? Well, it's bloody brilliant because it relaxes your whole body and your whole mind after you've got over the cold shock when you get in. It's proven to boost your immune system, it improves your circulation, it increases your flow. So that thing that I always talk about in the group is that moment where you're totally in something and you're enjoying it and there's nothing else in the world you'd rather be doing. It can really help to increase that. And it's proven to have mental health benefits as well as a side effect. So that's pretty cool. So how can I really enjoy wild swimming was one of the questions that I got from the group. So I'm going to go through a few things. Hey Lila, high five. I'm going to go through a few things to talk about how you can enjoy wild swimming more. So the first one is inspired by a friend of mine, and yes, it's you, Alex. So the first thing to help you enjoy wild swimming is friends. So I love this picture. It's a picture of a group of women going into the sea with nothing but swimsuits and bobble hats on. To me, it looks like winter, but it's a beautiful picture. So one of the best ways you can enjoy wild swimming is to go with friends. So thank you very much, Alex, for the beautiful inspiration from this gift. It's lovely. So friends is number one. You also need basic kit, obviously. So I'll go through a little bit about what basic kit you might need. Number 2 and 3 are being safe and then really embracing the moment. Because we don't get a lot of these moments now when we're so busy, especially if we're mums or we're partners or we're working. Embrace that moment of being in the water and enjoy it. So first up is kit. So I've gone to 2 different levels here. So I've gone to must-have kit, and then I will go to nice to have, pretty luxurious and special kit. So the must-have kit, I'll start here. This is not going to be the first thing you would think of necessarily with wild swimming, but first up kit is a reusable shopping bag of this type, because you can stuff all your gear in there. It's a bit sort of waterproof, you don't mind getting it mucky on the bottom, and you don't have to stir it to find everything because there's a big hole. You can see everything in there when you're freezing cold and you've got out from a wild swim. So one of these bad boys is the first thing you should get your hands on. 10p, not bad. So wild swimming bag. Second thing is a massive towel, the biggest towel you can find, so you can wrap it straight around yourself as soon as you get out of the water. Giant towel, don't go with a small one, pointless. Next up, and it's before swimsuit actually, because it's so essential, is a hat. And I go for a bobble hat because I'm a heads up swimmer. I do not put my head in the water in the winter. Oh no, it's far too cold. So hang on, where's that? There we are. There we go. So a bobble hat with a nice big bobble on top. Now, you can wear a swimming hat if you're a heads down swimmer and some goggles, that's fair enough. But these bobble hats and swimming hats will stop heat coming out the top of your head and will keep you nice and warm. Yes, you do look daft in the water, but also a little bit cool if you pick a good one. So that was the next one up. The other piece of essential kit is obviously a swimsuit. Now, you can get any old swimsuit you want. You can go down Asda and spend £5, sling it on. As long as it covers all your bits and pieces, you're fine, get in the water. Now this is my favourite swimsuit, and it's a bit of a luxury item, so it should probably be in the next section, which is the lush to have treats. But this one's got long sleeves, and it's also got a really high neck, so it comes up here. So Ellie, your question about how do I stop the monkey moment when I get in the water, this helps because you don't get that cold water going straight onto your bare chest. It goes onto the swimsuit, and this one's a bit thermal lined as well. So if you want to treat yourself in swimsuit territory, get yourself an Alp Kit Dulcie. Not sponsored by them, I wish, but it's an absolute beauty. It's also got a zip up back, so it zips up really high on your back as well, so it just keeps you warm all over. So swimsuit's the next bit of kit. The next bit of kit is a mint club. Essential. Get yourself a biscuit bar or a cake for when you get out. Now that may sound like I'm just being a fan of sweets. I'm not. That will get sugar into you, it gets your metabolism working and starts getting your body heated up from the inside. So get yourself a mint club. And then my toppest tip is a thermos flask and a keepy cup. Pour out your hot drink before you get into the water into your cup. It allows it to cool down a little bit, and then you can chug it all as soon as you get out of the water. Chug it all, it gets your belly all warm inside, gets all your body working again, and it's better than having a robe or something over you. Get yourself warm inside. So keepy cup and thermos always at the ready, and pour the drink out first before you get in the water. And my final top tip is Ribena. Hot squash after a swim, absolutely bloody beautiful. So get yourself some Ribena, glass bottle as well, so it's environmentally friendly. So those are your basics for wild swimming for kit. Swimsuit, bobble hat, towel, lovely bag, thermos flask and a biscuit. You can't go wrong. So basically anyone can go wild swimming. They've got the kit. Now, shall we move on to the nice bits of kit, the extras that we might like to have? So first up for me is one of these puppies. So this is a dry bag that's got a leash on it that you can tie around your waist. So I'll show you how to do that with the other one in a minute. So this is a dry bag. So you pop all your bits and pieces in there, pop your mobile phone in there, pop your keys in there. So you're not leaving them on the side of a riverbank or the side of, you know, the beach or whatever. So you pop it in there, you fold it over at least 3 times, and look, as if by magic, it fills with air and it becomes like a visible device. So you wear it around you like this, floats behind you. So if there's any weird canoers or boat people, what are they doing in the river? They will be able to see you more visibly with one of these than just your swimming hat or bobble hat or whatever poking around in the water. These puppies are brilliant, a brilliant safety device. However, if you want to go luxe, because that's quite a small one, if you want to go luxe, I copied my friend Nick and brought one of these bad boys the other day. So this is one that you roll down again. It's a dry bag, you put your kit inside, you roll down the top, but then it's got an inflator, so it blows up really, really, really big. Now, these are only supposed to be for visibility, for safety, so if a boat comes chugging along, it can see you a bit better. However, there's a bit of me that feels like if I got really stuck and I needed to take a couple of breaths and rest, I could kind of lean on it. It's got these cool grab handles that you can hold on to, especially for kids and things. They can hold on to them, just take a breather and get back to the side. So I absolutely love these toe floats. They're bloody brilliant. You can get them for about a tenner on Amazon if you want. So that's extra bit of kit 1. Again, you don't need it, but it's a nice to have. Extra bit of kit 2 is for me, because I've got terrible circulation because I'm an old lady, gloves. So you can get yourself some wetsuit gloves. They're really cheap. You can get them for a £5, or you can go posh and luxe like I did and get some posh blue 71s for Christmas. And they'll just keep your hands really warm. So they go up to about 5mm. After 5mm thick, if they're any thicker than that, you lose your dexterity. So you can't clamber out of the water or go over rocks very easily or climb up some steps if there's some steps on the side of a lake or whatever. So go a little bit thin, but those bad boys will allow you to stay in that winter water a little bit longer. So those are my top tip 2. If you want to really splash out, get some of these puppies, some wetsuit boots. Now, again, you can get these really cheap. These were £10 from Sports Direct. They've got a brilliant rubberised sole with all grips on, so you can stand on the beach or you can climb out on rocks and it won't hurt your feet. And they tend to keep your feet a little bit warmer for a little bit longer. They're not going to protect you forever, but those puppies will help your feet stay warm and stay in and not go white or blue. So those are another nice investment. Now, if you want to go the whole hog, and you want to go deluxe and you don't just want to have a towel around you doing that swimsuit, you know, in the changing rooms at school, you had to get changed under your towel so you didn't show anyone your boobs or whatever, you can go full hog and get yourself some sort of changing robe. Now, I didn't go dry robe myself. I went with this puppy, this Alp Kit puppy, and it says on the back, go nice places and do good things, which is a nice message for life. And these bad boys are fleece lined, bung them on, they've got all the pockets and whatever, hood up, and you can get changed inside it. It's like your own tent. It's amazing. That was about £70, so it's a big investment, but I definitely think worth it if you've got the cash and you're going to be winter swimming. The other thing I'd always say is some gloves for when you get out, because your hands get really chilly really quick when they're wet, especially in the winter, so stick some gloves on as well. Now, I had a question from the lovely Jane who asked me, is wetsuit wearing cheating? No, Jane, it's bloody well not, my love. If it gets you in the water, get in the water in a wetsuit. So I have got a wetsuit, lucky enough to have one, and you can pick them up dead cheap, eh? You can go to some Cornish seaside village and pick up a wetsuit for 30 quid. Marvellous. Little shorty or a full length one. It's not cheating. If it gets you in the water, it might even get you to stay in there a bit longer, or it may make you feel comfortable, because some people don't like the seaweed or the fish, do they, or whatever else. If it gets you in there and gets you comfy, bung it on. And like I say, some of them can be really, really cheap and really useful. The only thing I would say is make sure it does fit you properly, because if you're trying to swim in a wetsuit that's a bit tight around your shoulders or a bit tight around your thighs, it can be a bit uncomfortable. But yeah, 100% get yourself a wetsuit, it's not cheating. There's something in wild swimming, and I can't remember the right way around for it. If you swim all through the winter, you're either a polar bear or you're a penguin. And I think if you're a polar bear, you go in just your swimsuit, sorry. If you're a penguin, you go in the full black outfit in the wetsuit. So you're either a polar bear or a penguin. I'll find out which one it is properly. But yeah, get yourself in there in a wetsuit. So that's nice to have kit. You don't need all that. All you need is a swimsuit and a bobble hat in reality. But if you feel like feeling a bit more comfortable, treat yourself, get someone to get you something for Christmas. So we talked about friends, we talked about basic kit and nice to haves. Shall we talk a little bit about being safe? Because some people consider wild swimming quite a dangerous thing to do, and it can be if you don't think it through. So let's think about how we could properly keep safe. So the first one is, back to Alex's picture, go with a friend. Go with several people. It's more easy to scope out where's safe to get in, where's safe to get out. If someone could shout for help for you if you needed it, you can check the depth together, so go with someone else. Another way to stay safe is to join your local Facebook group. There will be one for wild swimming, so just plug away in there. They will know all the amazing safe spots to go swimming, whether it's in rivers, lakes or the sea. So they'll be able to tell you where to go. Yes, some of them will be deeply annoying and some of them will say, oh, you must have this equipment and you must have that. But they are brilliant sources of information as well. So join your Facebook group. Other one is get a book. So this puppy is an absolute joy. It's the Wild Swimming Guide, and I've got the Devon, Cornwall and South West edition. In there it tells you all the safe spots, and it tells you, really importantly, which rivers can be shallow enough to swim in and what entry points are good for particular coves, and where there are natural sea salt lakes where they've formed in rock pools and things, and it tells you that they've checked them all out and that they're safe to swim in. So this Wild Swimming Guide is bloody brilliant. Get yourself that bad boy if you can. Again, not sponsored, but probably should be, let's be honest. Also, you can go in lifeguarded beaches and things if you're really nervous and it's wild swimming for the first time. Go on a lifeguarded beach, or go to a river swimming club. There are plenty of them. Or go to a lake that's lifeguarded. There are tons of them, so you can still get that in nature swimming experience without feeling scared. My other top tip is stay well within your bloody depth. Do not go out of your depth if you're swimming for the first few times, or even at all. You don't have to go out of your depth to be able to swim. You can be a head-up swimmer like me in quite a shallow piece of water. Just don't go out your depth. It just keeps you safe and means that you don't have to panic. And then next, always check your entry and exit points. So if you're going into a river, don't go in a river with a big steep bank like this and plop in and not have any way to get back out. Go in where it's beached or banked, or you can get out through walking out of shallower water. Don't be climbing up the bank or getting out of somewhere that's out of your depth, because it's really dangerous. So check those entry and exit points. I think Jane asked me, when should I not wild swim? Well, don't wild swim in a canal because you get Viles disease, the rats are evil. Don't wild swim in a river after you've had heavy rain, because the river will be really full and really fast, which may seem exciting if you're in a rubber ring, but not when you're wild swimming. And it can also bring in kind of sewerage and stuff off the fields and pipes when it's really high. So don't get in a river if it's after heavy rain. And I would also say, for me personally, again, I'm no professional, but I never swim when there's an outgoing tide. So I'll swim at a slack tide or when the tide's coming in, because it's just more likely to take you out. Again, swim on a lifeguarded beach and with a tow float and with friends, and you're probably safe. But I just don't like swimming on an outgoing tide. It just petrifies me a little bit. So somebody else asked me if waterways are legal. I think it was Sarah. So yeah, waterways, most of them in England, even though the banks are owned by private properties potentially, you can still swim in them. because the river's not owned by them, because they're not privately owned. But just be a bit sensible. If there's a ton of fishermen there, or women, don't be swimming near them, because they're going to catch you with their lines and they're going to get annoyed. And don't swim in people's some people have private lakes on their property. Don't swim in those kind of places. But those Facebook groups and that wild swimming guide are brilliant for advice in that way. Okay, if you want any proper advice, not just from me, you can go to that outdoorswimmingsociety.com website, and they will tell you where it's safe to swim and give you more hints and tips. And you can go to wildswimming.co.uk as well. They are brilliant resources. So we've covered going with friends, we've covered basic kit, we've covered being safe to a certain extent. What's the other bit about wild swimming though? Because that all feels a bit logistical, doesn't it? And a bit like, oh, what can I buy? Or where do I need to be safe? But actually what it's all about is embracing the moment. So whether you're a head down swimmer who's got your rubber hat on and your goggles and you're going for it, absolutely leathering it through the water, or you're a head up swimmer like me who does a nice gentle breaststroke and just stays in the water for 20 minutes, just try and embrace that moment as much as you can, and even embrace the monkey moment that Ellie asked me about. So that's that moment, we call it the high stepping flamingo in our house, where you're trying to get in the water and it's all freezing, or that monkey moment. So try and embrace that and breathe through it if you can. So get into the water gradually. Don't take 10 minutes, maybe take 30 seconds to get in. Just get in gradually, just in case you get that cold water shock, which can really grip you and knock all the breath out of you. Get in gradually, embrace that moment. Embrace the miracle that is your body getting into cold water, because it's a pretty amazing thing that it's doing. Feel it, feel the heat rising up to your face, feel your body relaxing into the water once you've got over the monkey moment, and just let yourself be in that moment if you can, because it is magical, and breathing is the way to do that. So nice, calm, controlled breaths once you've got over that cold water shock. And Alex, those next 5 minutes are that calm breathing and focusing on how your body's feeling and the magic that your body is making by going in the water. Be aware of what's happening around you, listen to the sights, listen to the sounds, and just be in that moment as much as you can, and be totally aware of what's happening to you. So for me, wild swimming totally supports my mental health, and it's the best thing I've ever done, and I've swum all through winter now and I love it. What's next for you? Are you going to go and wild swim? Are you going to give it a bash? If you're going to give it a bash in January for the first time, be careful. Maybe borrow a wetsuit, and definitely go with friends. But the biggest bit of advice for me is get out before you think you have to. So if you're going to go out and wild swim now, get out before you think you have to, because your body will continue to get cold after you've got out. So get out before you have to, but go and find some friends. Go and have a look on your OS map and find a bit of water that looks glorious to swim in, and go and have a go. Even if it's for 20 seconds that you get in the water, the health benefits for your mind and your body are incredible. So thank you very much for coming along and listening. Has anyone got any other questions? If I can see them in the comments, I will answer them. If not, I'll answer them on this post afterwards. So I'll post this video in the Find Your Flow group. So I'll have a quick look for questions. And then if there aren't any, where do you find places to go? All right, there are questions, I just couldn't see them. So where do you find places to go? So that wild swimming guide is absolutely brilliant. I'll put it down here. Absolutely brilliant. So go into that wild swimming guide. I'm happy to lend my copy out if anyone wants to borrow it. Get yourself an OS map, have a look and see what the waterways look like. Join those local Facebook groups. Sarah, what's the make of that swimsuit again? It's Alp Kit, lovely. So it's an Alp Kit Dulcie. I think they're currently sold out, sadly, because it is winter and everyone wants to get their hands on it. But Alp Kit are brilliant because they're B Corp, so they're environmentally and ethically kind of sound. So yeah, use them if you can. Lila, is that a proper swimming one? I don't know which one you mean. Oh, a proper swimming wetsuit, perhaps. Yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely. And then my wetsuit, Jane, was a blue 70 wetsuit, and I got it in the sale about 7 years ago for about 100 quid. And it still lasted me now, but I got a swimming one rather than a surfing one because they're just a little bit more mobile when you're getting in and out of the water. Don't think there's any other questions, but if there are, let me know and I will answer them. But thank you so much for coming along. That was an absolute joy, even though I was very nervous and I've gone a bit red. I really enjoyed it. So thank you very much for joining me, lovely ladies. Oh, Lila, right, is that a proper swimming bag? Is that what you were saying, Lila? I think so. So the bag the bag is a proper swimming one. So you can go onto somewhere like Amazon, or there are some really beautiful, ethically sourced ones at the moment. But yes, that's a swimming toe float, they're called. And then Elizabeth Jane, how can you get over the fear of something touching your leg when you're swimming? Great question. I would say wetsuit it up, or even you can wear, I mean, I've seen people wear leggings in lakes and things because they don't like that seaweed and they don't like the fish near them. So yeah, absolutely give that a bash. Try wearing like lightweight clothes or some sort of wetsuit trouser you can get now even. So try wearing some of those. And Becky, you're absolutely right. Sewerage and stuff can get in the rivers when it's really high river level. So just don't go into them, and just don't go near them. If you know that there's a pump station, don't go near them at all. Amazing. So yeah, Lila, you're absolutely right. It's got a long strap so you can tie it around you. Sorry, I didn't show you that very well, did I? So it's got a nice long strap and a belted piece. So you can unclip it, like you're in Baywatch in many respects, as I feel like I am in Baywatch. Oh, look at me, like Pamela Anderson running along the beach like that. Yeah, so it's a belted one, so it just floats behind you like that. Okie dokes. All right, my lovelies, thank you so much for joining. Have a marvellous evening and get out there and wild swim as soon as you can.